Hello, everybody. We conduct this interview with Professor Helena Cortez Pinto to commemorate in ELPA the International Women's Day in 2024. Thank you, Professor Helena Cortez Pinto, to be with us. Thank you for the background, remembering Emilia Rodriguez from Portugal, who was a very kind liver patient advocate and ELPA friend. My name is Teresa Casanovas. I am a pathologist from Barcelona and now ELPA scientific assessor. Now I will introduce Professor Helena Cortez Pinto, who is a specialist in gastroenterology dedicated predominantly to hepatology, mainly liver diseases due to alcohol and steatotic liver disease, and she is also dedicated to clinical nutrition and public health issues related to liver diseases. She is a full professor at Facultade de Medicina, Universidade de Lisboa in Portugal, director of Clínica Universitária de Gastroenterologia at Universidade de Lisboa, and coordinator of the hepatology unit of the Centro Hospitalario Lisboa Norte. She is the past president of United European Gastroenterology, senior editor of seminars in liver disease, and member of the editorial board of the Journal of Hepatology. She has published more than 150 scientific articles in indexed journals, including JAMA, Gastroenterology, Hepatology, Journal of Hepatology, and Liver International. Thank you, Professor.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Teresa, for the introduction. My name is Beatrice Credi, and I'm more than honored to join Dr. Casanovas and Professor Cortez Pinto today because they are hepatologists. But they are also very, very close to liver patients. So for me, it's a pleasure. But we gather today because it's Women's Day. And Women's Day is the celebration of the achievement and always a call to action for gender equality. So we listen to a long curriculum by Teresa regarding to Professor Cortez Pinto. So my question is, how do you perceive the role of women in gastroenterology and hepatology, of course, and what steps can be taken to encourage more women to pursue career and leadership role in these fields, because we know that women are less than men?
So first of all, hello Beatrice, hello Teresa. Casanova, it's a pleasure to join you in this interview. And it's also a pleasure to celebrate Women's Day. In fact, I've always been worried about the role of women in the world in general and in medicine, either in clinic or in the university and in the careers of the university. And I think that gastroenterology and hepatology in particular have always been more let's say that men had a more prominent role than women. Although I think that in the last years, this has come very much to more equality, but most maybe in hepatology, but also in gastroenterology, and I see my young interns and even the people of my age that already have had the opportunity to pursue careers, but that is far from being an equality of opportunities. And I would say that that the steps that can be taken to encourage more women, because I think that the major problem is that women tend to pursue careers, but often they do not go to leadership roles. because this is not on their priorities. So they can try to put together the careers and the family life, because I think one of the main issues when we talk about women and careers in any of the fields that we can think of, it's very often the family life that is put in together, and women try the best they can to join both things, but often it is difficult. So I think first of all we have to give women the strong idea that it is possible, because the first thing is that often women think that it's very difficult, it's very complicated, or so we have to give them a role model. They have to see that other people have been able to do it, and that this can be very gratifying, the possibility to pursue careers with or without a family life at the same time. And that it is very important also to come to leadership roles, because if women go to leadership roles, they can let's say put other women in leadership roles, because otherwise if it is mostly let's say ruled by men, it becomes more difficult. But still, I see many women who really don't see that as a priority in their lives. So I think we are on the good way for gender equity, but first of all, we did not arrive there yet. And second, even if it seems that we are on the good way, it can always come back. So we have to be very alert that and not, let's say, not rest, because we have seen that in other areas where it seems that everything is going on the right way and then everything goes back. So what I say, at least to other women, is that they can have both things. That they can have family lives, they can have careers. It's mostly the matter of putting things together, of organizing themselves, and it is to have to have a stronger way of dealing with things, but it doesn't have to be as a man. It has to be as a woman. And I think sometimes, mostly, I think in careers with companies not related to medicine, we see women that take positions that mimic men. And I think that should not be the case. I think women can do their leaderships in their own way. And you don't have to be man-like. You just have to be in a way strong, not let other people run through you. And so to give them confidence, to give them role models, and to explain them that it's possible and it's gratifying.
Yes. Totally agreed. And thank you for your positive message. And as we know, someone deeply involved in academia, how do you mentor and support the next generation of medical professionals, particularly women, in their pursuit of careers in gastroenterology and hepatology? This may require a change in traditional career trajectories and methods of promotion. Too often, women are encouraged to mold to a system that was designed for men. Do you know some initiative to promote women's improving positions?
Thank you, Teresa. I think I agree with you that even in the new generation, the system is mostly molded for males, for men. And I think that probably the two main issues. Again, I said that to have very good support for childcare and for children, so that women have the opportunity have both things, to have good care for their children. And I think on that issue, it's very difficult, very different from country to country. I have had the opportunity to speak with women from different areas of the world. And for example, if you look at China, it's very difficult for a woman to have a career because there's not a social way for her to do it. She usually have to work long hours. There is not usually support from their partners or their company, their accompanying men. But for example, in Australia, I'm aware, at least I've known some people, where the system protects women and gives them support in many ways so that they can pursue their careers. Other important initiatives that even in UEG we tried to promote relates, and also in EASL, in the European Association for the Study of Liver Disease, where I have been also had a position in EU-related matters. And there are things like, for example, the age limit for applying for a promotion or for a particular grant or a particular prime. So, for example, you can only apply until 35 for having an award. And you can or you should increase that in years according to the number of children that women have. And that's an easy way to increase the possibility for women to apply for these awards. Because there's another problem. Women often have careers that start later in life because they try to do these other things earlier. The family things, and so they start to focus on their professional career later in life. And so this should be taken in account. And when we do the regulations for these promotions or for these awards, age should be taken as well as the number of children, if that is the case, to change it so that women have better access to positions. Of course, there are things that are not really possible to regulate because they depend on some spirit that is on the university or on the faculty, and sometimes it's not possible to regulate it. You just have to slowly changing it. And again, for that, it's important that women are more often in leadership positions so that they can promote this change from inside. I don't know, Teresa, if you agree on that. But yeah.
Thank you. So we listen. I mean, we heard that your field is a traditionally male-dominated field, but it's evolving.
Yeah, it's really evolving.
So now I would like just to ask you something really personal. So if you have an experience or a challenge that you would like to share with us during your career related to the approach to medicine and to leadership from your perspective, so from a woman's perspective.
Well, every time I applied for a position, usually there are some male candidates, and you often have this feeling that they probably have more possibilities. But that I'm saying that on a very general way. I remember something that happened during my internship when I was training on endoscopy, mostly, for example, colonoscopy. And some colleagues used to say, "Oh, you are not bad for a woman. You can do it rather well considering you are a woman." And that is very, very disappointing or very Well, I hope that nowadays this doesn't happen. This doesn't still happen. But that was the spirit. I think that endoscopy used to be very much male dominated. I think hepatology used to be better fit for women. I don't know. It's probably, but again, I think this has changed. Yeah,
Thank you.
that is.
Thank you. Now let's talk about women's health. Women's health encompasses a broad spectrum of issues, and in particular, liver diseases can have unique implications. We see longer survivorship in women in general, but they have poor quality of life and more chronic conditions, without forgetting the intersection with mental health. For example, psychological depression, anxiety, etc. On top of this, we have risk factors such as alcohol-related problems and obesity that affect women particularly from a low socioeconomic background, amplifying the health inequalities even more. How do you perceive the intersection between women's health and liver disease? And the question is if there are some specific considerations or challenges that need to be addressed to ensure comprehensive care for women in this context, because women as a patient and also taking care of the family.
Thank you, Teresa. Well, if, for example, we consider alcohol-related problems or alcohol-related liver disease, the first issue is that from a social perspective, it's much less accepted than for men. If a man says he drinks all day, he drinks every day, and this is usually quite well accepted by everybody, by even the doctors, by the family, and it is not for women. Well, maybe this is improving, but some years ago it was not. So women tend to hide this kind of behavior, and with this it can delay the diagnosis. There is more a trend to hide it, and this should not be like this, because there's no reason why alcohol should be more stigmatizing for women than for men. And then, of course, as we have already mentioned, this is not only for professionals, but also for women in general. Women always have more work related with family, not only the children, but also the parents or the generation that is the eldest generation. And so often women, besides their diseases, have to take care of their parents or of, so they are often in the middle of two generations, also because many of the liver diseases come in a middle age, where people often have the children they have to take care and the parents. And so sometimes it is a very heavy burden that they have to support. Also, as you mentioned, the low socioeconomic background tends to amplify either alcohol as obesity-related issues, and so, for example, the women who are mothers, who are single mothers, or and sometimes they do not have support, they become increasingly depressed, increasingly having difficulties in managing all the different areas of their support to the family and their own disease. And so there should be ways of particularly protecting the women that are in this position. Also, when we talk, it's very interesting because when we talk about women's health, we do not have very much in the literature concerning the particular issues of women's health in liver disease, for example. When for example, in cardiovascular disease, there are publications, increasing publications regarding what is different in diseases of women. And there is not so much regarding women and liver disease. So it's also an area that probably should be further developed so that we could help more women who have liver diseases and who need a particular care for it. Just to give you an example, women that have PBC, primary biliary cholangitis, or that have a PSC, that are often on fertile age. And often the pregnancy aggravates the situation, and they do not have a particular care or particular advisement for this. So these are situations that have to be better addressed and that have to be better supported, not only in the best interest of the women, but also of the children to be born. And I've faced patients with these kind of situations, and it's often very, very difficult to support and to go through these situations. You are mute.
Thank you. Thank you. We should consider to continue the task to help our liver patients. So we are arriving to the end, and I will say that in the Women's Day 2024 celebration, we call to action for gender equality for professional women in medicine, in research, clinical assistants, academy, etc. And also, we should consider the woman as a patient and a person who is caring for the family. We agree that information and support and good communication with empathy and without stigma are crucial. And we thank you very much, Professor Cortez Pinto, for your testimony and for your work. Thank you very much.
I could just add something because
Absolutely.
I think I've been a little bit negative, but this is a celebration. And let me tell you that I'm very, very happy to be a woman. I think that being a woman is something very, let's say, very intense, and it has given me a lot of happiness to have my children, I don't know, it's a different world, but it's very positive. So just also passing this message that I think we are happy to be women.
We are. I think Teresa
Yeah,
and I, Teresa and
that
I
is a celebration.
are agree.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do
See
you
you.
agree, Teresa? Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Women's Day.